Ben, I did the Haggis film, and it was the one with the naked guy running around the forest.
Walter, the sort of silent Western movie.
And I'm Susan, and it was the last one with the red balloon.
Hello, I'm Katie, and mine was the kind of crazy experimental one about the cat.
Hi, I'm Freya, mine was called Your Day Will Come, and it's about death, and she killed 4 of my friends.
Hello, Daniel. The film was Cuffed, and it was about the key that was flying about, hit me in bad places, but yeah.
I'm Owen from Strange Goose. Ours was The Journeyman, and it was the time travel film set in Castle Hall.
Hi, my name's Kieran. We were Vision Pair Creators Scotland, and our film was called Cooked, and the dog did it.
Hello, my name is Patrick, and ours was The Put Down with the travellers, and the guy gets shot and gets put down.
Hi, I'm Callum. Ours was called Our Bar, and it was the one with the weird dystopian love triangle.
Yeah, we normally do green screen virtual productions, so this was our first time shooting outdoors in a while, and the weather was brutal. So there was a lot of covering a camera bag with IKEA bags, and I think 6 umbrellas, just walking with the camera everywhere.
I think it was sort of on the second day when we realised that there was only 3 people, and there were 5 characters, and there was one camera. We thought we would have audio. We found out we didn't, which is the reason for the silent aspect of our film. But yeah, it was generally personnel. It was personnel. It wasn't actually written until halfway through Saturday. It wasn't. When we say written, it wasn't really written. But anyway, I think I think the whole thing was a big challenge.
Finding a drain that we could actually get into. We started shooting, trying to find that one that was empty. And we luckily found one that was dried up. The rest were really gross. And we were able to shoot, and I think we shot that last scene in the drain stuff at about 3:30 in the morning. We did run into a little tiny problem with that because there was a dead possum. So we had one of our crew go out, and our first AD went out and took care of it for us.
So I was originally supposed to do this project with a collaborator who cancelled, and so I found the challenge to be doing all of it by myself. And we had a small group, but it kind of dissolved last minute, and that was a big challenge.
For us, it was when we came to film our last scene for the day, and we arrived on location and realised we couldn't use the location. So we had to think really quickly about how we were going to, I suppose, show 4 different deaths with very little space and little time, but I had a great team and we managed to pull it off, so I'm very lucky for that.
For the Key film, I think the main problem was the editing. I think we exported it about 7 times, so, and then we were like watching it over and it's like, oh yeah, there's the boom there, nice.
I think our only problem was logistics. We were filming 2 hours from Edinburgh, and it was a case of getting everyone in the right car and carpooling and all the rest of it. But our producer Victoria sorted all that out ahead of time, and everyone got there more or less the right time, and we left on time.
I think there was 2 things. One, film is all about show and tell, and we wanted to put as much audio description as we could. And I think we kind of achieved that a bit. But I think poor Jet is standing next to me, he's really quiet, but it was editing. I was so terrified about the editing. I was like in trauma on Sunday, waiting on my bed, like, whoa, what's happening with this editing? Because we can't edit it, you can't, I could edit the sound maybe, but I couldn't do the film bit. But Jet did an amazing job, so that was our most tricky thing. So thank you, Jet.
I would say our biggest challenge was time, really. We only had 48 hours and pretty tight. I was doing most of the camera work, sound, editing, lights. I was doing most of it. 28 minutes past 7 on Sunday, so pretty tight. But it was good.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest challenge for us was the Scottish weather. I mean, this is probably the same for everyone. So, it was sunny for about a month, and now it's hit summer and it starts monsooning. So we've got our most important scene to film, and it's outside, and I have to go up to the actors and I have to go, yeah, you're going out in that. So it wasn't they didn't enjoy it.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the audio description was like for these films and for your film, and do you think they got it right?
Yeah, they definitely got it right. They're a brilliant organisation, Screen Lounge of Scotland. They definitely got it right. I would love to next year, along with you, Sam, kind of create a mini film that we could help people to think about audio description in their films and how we could integrate it. I want to really challenge the film industry to make audio description more part of the film process, because I think it could be, because audio description is telling a story behind a story, and I think it'd be really great if we could start making the 48-hour film fest prove that we can do this. So I think that's our next year challenge.
Let's do it! Let's do it, guys!
Josh, as I said, usually we do green screen virtual production, but I think basically it was a sky replacement. So essentially the sky was a very lovely uniform grey, which made for, I'm not displacing the work that you did and how hard it was, but just took out the sky, replaced that with the helicopter, and then inside the helicopter, that is more traditionally what we would do. So him on the stretcher was filmed on a green screen, and then the shot looking out at the monster haggis was just rendered out from Unreal Engine itself.
So we found Castle Vault through one of the Scottish filmmaking Facebook groups, and basically we asked them, and they said yes. We came to deal with them. It's down in Dumfries, so we were about 2.5 hours away. There was no recce because it was too far to go and come back beforehand, so we just went on the day and we spent the first hour just, the script was finished at 2:30 in the morning, so when we got there we spent the first hour just walking around trying to figure out where we were filming things. And there's one scene where he goes into the safe that's filmed somewhere else. So we filmed in a big room that's like cheated to get the safe in that was somewhere else in the house. Yeah, that's about it really. A great location that thankfully they just let us use the place. Yeah, and so our cast probably had the best green room they've ever been in, which is essentially a studio flat in the basement with a kitchen and all sorts of stuff. So they had a great time.
I think 11 p.m. torrential rain when he got out in his dancer's belt, which is apparently what that's called. It's just a beige thong, and no one made eye contact with him for the rest of the weekend. But originally we were kind of saying to him, why don't you put on like black boxers and we'll do the kind of black sensor bar. And he was like, no, I've got this dancer's belt, which I won't question why he owns that. But he was very insistent on committing to it and just so up for it. And we were all freezing and we were wearing like thick high-vis rainproof coats and he was completely naked. So I appreciate him for his commitment.
I think for me, this being my first film that I've ever directed and wrote, that for me was a pinch me moment, and seeing how amazing all my friends are to support me on that journey was incredible.
It was great to see kind of, you know, when you're filming it, it's a completely different feel to when you just start editing and you're like, wow, okay, it's actually all coming together. I deal with 3 other idiots in the room, one on a violin, me on the piano, just doing random shit.
The one pinch me moment was just a bit of luck when I was editing it. I didn't notice till after I'd finished the film, but I picked 1:29 or so for one of the countdown timers. And if you go ahead 1:29 in the film, that's exactly when he disappears, not Back to the Future, so I was taken. That's when he returns to the future, and it was just pure luck that it lined up.
Oh my goodness, I would say all my team were amazing. Kelly and Janine, who's here tonight, and our 2 incredibly sighted people, obviously Jet and Charlie, who's Jet's partner, let us, all the visually impaired people, shine. Neil, who came all the way from Aberdeen to, you know, do the filming with us, but not to forget the most important person, the 4-legged friend of ours, Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy's like the most well-behaved dog I've ever seen in my life. She's amazing.
And one other person that's not with us, she's actually in Sweden. She did the eerie sound that's at the end of our film. She's a composer. I just sent her a little clip of what we wanted, sent it via WhatsApp and said, do something with that. So I kind of edited backwards, started with the end bit so that she could do what she was doing and while I finished the other bit. And she just came back with that. So she's like the other person that's done quite a lot for us.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to thank the whole crew, but specifically the actors, because we had 2 directors, me and Gregor, and they still did stuff that we didn't even direct them to do that really characterised the characters. And for what they saw the script about 20 minutes before shooting, and they played a blinder really, and yeah, they were amazing. So thank you to them.
Biggest waste of time was definitely sleeping. Simple as that.
Premiere Pro?
I think I finished the first edit at like 7 a.m. and then I went to sleep, set myself 2 alarms on 2 different phones, turned them both off, and slept for like an hour too long. So that was a complete waste of time.
I would say, I mean, maybe not a waste of time, but we decided to stop and take not 1 but 2 takeaways during the shooting time. So that was probably, we probably could have got a lot more done if we hadn't had Domino's and the Chinese. But you got to enjoy your food, so yeah.
Just shopping around for props and things that we, some of the stuff that we ended up not using. We wasted a bit of time with not really writing things properly down, because we were kind of just, yeah, bashing it as we went. So I think we learned a few things. So yeah.
I think for me personally, because I didn't have control over it, and I have a power thing going on in my head, it was the editing. I thought, oh, it took us so long to do this editing, but actually Jet did an amazing job, so I can't really complain, but yeah.
It wasn't really a waste of time, but at one point my editing software crashed and I lost about a good 20 minutes of work, so it's no big deal. I was really annoyed at the moment, but then I just went and had a cup of coffee and I was like, okay, going back to work.
I don't think I can think of a moment where we wasted time. There's one moment that stands out as, I suppose, that wasn't really around filming, and we were outside singing Pina Coladas. I don't know if anyone knows that song, but
You like pina
that one.
coladas?
And Io, our DOP, recorded it, and it's really funny because it's just Death dancing amongst all her victims before she kills them off. So that's the one moment that I had nothing to do with filming, but it was probably my most precious moment on set, just seeing everybody come together and have a good time, even after a crazy long day.
Probably doing nothing on the Friday. Probably on the Sunday going for a big bike ride instead of doing any editing. But it was good because it helped me get into the frame of mind to be like, right now study. So.
Well, since this is our 31st film that we've done through this process, my editor and partner in crime has a very tight schedule, and we tend to stick to that pretty well, especially since we work with our scriptwriters in Glasgow, and our composer, who's actually here with me tonight, was also in Glasgow, so we kept to that schedule pretty darn good.
The most glaringly obvious waste of time would have to be when he who shall not be named, who may or may not be sitting in the audience, decided at 7:20 on Sunday that maybe let's say 7:15. It wasn't good, whatever it was, but decided that a final rewatch, pre-render, was in order, leaving our film to be uploaded at 7:30 and 57 seconds, I think, with 3 seconds to go. So yeah, I'd say that was probably 6 minutes of wasted time.
As I said, we usually do visual effects heavy short films for this, and we had a touch of arrogance where we're like, oh well, we don't need all of that time in post-production, and we got probably a little bit more relaxed than we should have whilst we were filming on Saturday. So I think we probably just mooched around in the woodlands for a little bit too long.
Do you have any advice for people on how to do this after doing 3 cities last year?
Yeah, prepare in advance as much as you can. Obviously, you can't go writing great scripts in advance or anything like that. But you can prepare a location, you can prepare crew, you can prepare a cast. Friday night is not a time to be figuring out how to find 600 reenactors for a background scene.